All right, straight up, let's get a check of what's playing out in the commodities market. And we have Mr. Bismarck Rwani, CEO of Financial Derivatives Company. Great to have you on the show, sir. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Rwani. I guess at this point, I don't know if I should be wishing you Happy Children's Day, but
Yes.
yeah, Happy Children's Day at this point. And,
Happy Children's Day for all the children out there.
exactly.
Because
Yes,
they
and
are the present. The children are the present, not the future. Let me
exactly.
make
Yeah.
are
And
the
we know
present.
everything that's happening in these markets also affect how the funds and childcare, how it gets to the children, at this point. And we're seeing,
Yeah.
yeah, things are not as easy, as they used to be. So how are you seeing
Yeah.
these times, bringing up kids, at this point?
Yeah. Okay. So let me start off by saying, okay, Happy Children's Day, as you said. But the most important news that will be being awaited in the markets today and maybe tomorrow is the GDP numbers. It was expected to be released yesterday. We haven't got it today, but maybe we'll get it later today or maybe tomorrow. But the projections are that the GDP numbers will come out at 3.48, lower than 3.42, lower than 3.84 of last quarter. But the good news is that in the first quarter of the year, in the past 5 or 10 years, the first quarter always shows lower output because of the post-Christmas, post-New Year activities. So you have that. And so having coming in at the projected figure of 3.42 will not be a bad outing. Also, there's a big question of rebasing of the GDP, which we did many, many years ago. But the rebasing is work in progress. So using the old methodology, we have 3.84. But you see, to achieve a $1 trillion economy, which is the aspiration and the goal of the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, we need to be growing at an average of almost 14, 15% a year. We are not going to jump from 3% to 14, 15%. So let's accept that. That's a good aspiration, but it's not going to happen very quickly. Certain things have to change for it to happen, including power supply, including that. However, if, let us say, for example, that the numbers come out at 3.6 or 3.4, higher than anticipated, what will happen is that will be a major impetus, an incentive for the Central Bank of Nigeria to actually begin to lower rates at the next meeting in May. And what is the relationship between those rates, one, and the price of goods in the market, which is the commodity prices? Now, what has happened because of the stability of the exchange rate and most of the food substitutes in the food basket are imported items, we are beginning to see a stability and even a decline in food prices. And if you look at it very carefully, you will see that most of the commodities we are showing today are showing decline, especially Gari, which is down by 5% to 36,000. Rice is down to 80,000. Even in fact, that had gone lower, but just came up to 80,000. Tomatoes, which had gone to the roof at 70,000, is now down to 50,000. And pepper is down to 140,000. Onions went up, is the only outlier. And vegetable oil is down to 17,500. One, because people have no money to buy it. Two, because the imported substitutes are coming in cheaper. And three, the whole rumor about rice being poisonous and all of that has brought down the price of rice. So that is what we are seeing. But one thing we must bear in mind is that the Naira has depreciated marginally because of just marginally. So let's say that it's trading flat. Price of cocoa has come down by 5% to about 9,700, still way 200, 300% higher than what it was 2-3 years ago. So folks in Ekiti, folks in Ondo State, folks in Isenyi in Oyo State are all laughing to the bank with more dollars and more products. So pump price, you said Elijah Aliko Dangote saying very clearly that it's going to be receiving about $7 billion from exports of fertilizers next year. That's a big, big deal, which means that our exports from fertilizer will exceed our export from cocoa. So that is what you call this value-added activity, right? Because you're using urea, using gas, and converting it to fertilizer and selling it across the coast of Africa. So that's a very important thing.
Right.
And also, because of the price of fertilizer, because the increase in supply of fertilizer will have increased food output and bring down food inflation.
All right, so Mr. Ronnie, let's look at the oil market now, and definitely it's all about the output hikes at this point. What we're seeing from OPEC Plus, do you think is sustainable? And it's definitely looking like it's going to be a problem for government revenue in Nigeria.
Yes, it's not only a problem for government revenue; it's a problem for our exchange rate. At $64 a barrel, don't forget that from January this year to now, the dollar has lost almost 7 or 8% of its value against a basket of currencies. So the $64 of today is the same thing as $58 in January. So let us say nominally or effectively, we are getting $58 or $59 a barrel. What does this mean? It means that our revenue from oil, our export revenues will drop, our inflow into the foreign exchange market will drop, and the naira will be weakened fundamentally because of that. Why is the price of oil coming down? OPEC Plus wants to increase prices. There's a possibility of an Iran-US deal on nuclear containment rather than proliferation. So if this happens and the price of oil goes down to where it is now or lower, then we are under pressure. And that pressure means that our naira could easily trade at the 1700 range from where it is now at about 1590, 1600. Not too much, but it's enough because every 1% depreciation of the currency leads to about a 0.2, I think 0.23% increase in inflation across the board. So that's one thing we have to bear in mind as we play the scenario for the end of the second quarter. That's a very major issue that we have to think about.
Okay.
Not only, and also, the other thing is that because Dangote has brought down the price, today the price of petrol is $8.75 and the price of diesel is $970. For the first time in 7-8 months, the price of diesel is below 1,000 naira. Can you believe that? Like,
wow, that's quite incredible, and
that is a big deal.
Right.
So because that makes alternative power cheaper, but anything also transportation because the trucks and the lorries use diesel. That could be a major factor in bringing down the price of foodstuff across the country.
All right, I guess that's where we'll truly feel the impact or the expectations there for lower inflation going forward, the energy prices, coming down. But thank you so much, Mr. Rouhani. It's always great having your perspective on the show. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.